Wonderful farm setting. We're also going to be doing this mailbox right up here by the road as well. There's a relatively busy road next to us, so there's a lot of dust that gets kicked up on this one. So we're just going to go around. I went ahead and taped up the door locks. I pulled my hose all the way around. And we were actually here. This house is owned by a friend of mine. And as soon as he found out I did pressure washing, he said, okay, cool, you're my pressure washing guy now. So, got a lawnmower hole right up here. So I was out here last May, coming out again this May. As one thing about white houses, they show everything, so it's definitely one of those things where you want to keep it maintained, and he has done a great job of doing that. Going to be coming under here and spraying some SH on the algae growing, or the moss growing up against their brick on the bottom underneath the porch. And this one's going to be pretty simple, straightforward, a couple good peaks. It's definitely a little bit of wind today. We're right in the middle of a cold front and a warm front. I'm even feeling a few sprinkles, but I think this is going to be pretty quick, simple, straightforward. It's not super dirty, just got some spider webs and some dust that needs to be cleaned off just to keep their property maintained and looking beautiful. All right, I'm gonna crank this up and get started. Alrighty, so we are washing side number 2 right now. Got the backside dwelling. I keep hearing a funny noise, and I think it's my machine acting up, and every time I let off the trigger to hear what's going on, it's the neighbor is mowing. That's one reason I don't use headphones or anything like that while I'm washing, because I want to be able to hear my machine. You can tell so many different things by the sounds coming off your machine. And every now and then I get fooled by a vehicle driving down the road or another machine running nearby. If that thing is getting low on gas, I know what that sounds like. If there's an issue with the unloader, I know what that sounds like, which I do believe I've been hearing off and on lately. So I am looking into some options on adding an additional unloader or replacing my unloader. If I had the option, I think I would like to add an unloader block. That way I can detach it from the pump, which is what I'm finding is recommended by a lot of folks, because the vibrations of the pump and the vibrations on the unloader don't work very well together. It's over here. That wind is starting to kick up. So, switch my fan over to a jet. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. You know, last time I had an unloader go bad, it was a built-in unloader on my old AR pump that came with the machine, and I do believe I could have added an external unloader, but I was kind of dead in the water at that point, so I just swapped out the pump with one I had in the garage. Alright, gonna let this hang out. Alright, we got a pretty decent rain cloud coming. Looks like we've had a considerable amount of rain over the past 3 days, and I was really hoping that today would not be one of them, but it looks like we are going to get a little rain. I've got a good bit of wind. You can see that wind chime just going, and that system is trying to push through. We're like right in the middle between a warm front and a cold front. Do you guys wash in the rain? If you do, let me know down in the description or in the comments. Let me know, do you guys wash in the rain? I do. Because I book a few weeks out usually, and if I have to cancel something for a little bit of rain, that pushes my whole calendar out of whack. And unless it's something like a pretty hefty thunderstorm that I can't wait out in the truck, I will generally wash just to keep the schedule intact. I get a lot of questions from customers when we're expecting rain. They'll say, hey, are you still coming today? It's supposed to rain, or it's raining right now. I'm like, well, it's raining right now, but it might not be raining by the time I get to your house, so let's just play it out, you know? Grateful to have very good clients like this one. And actually, my next client for the day is a repeat. We go out to their house twice a year. We do their gutter guard clean off and twice a year, and then we do a house wash for them in the fall. They had some washers come out several years back, and they burned up a bunch of their plants. And then when they called and said, hey, you killed all our plants, they said, oh, that probably wasn't us. And they refused to make it right, refused to hold up their end of the bargain when that homeowner trusted them with their property. And so it didn't just leave a bad taste in their mouth on that company, it left a bad taste in their mouth for pressure washing businesses in general. So when I went out to do their gutters, I got to talking to them, and they told me they really wanted me to wash their house because I did a good job on their gutters. Then I did some gutter guard installation for them, and they said they didn't want me to use any bleach, no bleach at all. And I kind of negotiated with them a little bit and said, hey, you know, how about I use a very, very light, like maybe half of what I'm doing. And they said, sure, just don't use any in the front. And I said, okay, I'll just rinse the front. And so I went out to actually wash their house a few months later, and I got around to the front, and I went and talked to the customer. I said, hey, you've trusted me with your house 3 times now. I've done your gutter cleaning, done your gutter guard installation. How about you know, trust me with the chlorine here? And he agreed, but I promised to make it right. I said, you know, I'm not going to leave you high and dry like the last people did. You know, I want to have your service twice a year. So he did, and, you know, just building that trust, building that rapport made all the world of difference for that client. And it makes all the world of difference for me. Even though May and November are not slow times for me, I don't necessarily need extra work at this point, but when he signed up, man, I needed everything I could get. And I am grateful for both of these for being regulars and being an account I can count on, because, I mean, that definitely goes both ways. You know, if you're doing your best for them, I would hope that they are willing to keep you in business. Alright, gonna clean this mailbox off. Put a little house wash on there. This is vinyl, so that's gonna come out just like we would expect. Same as the vinyl house. Get out of the road before somebody comes on through. Oh yeah. Let that hang out. Alrighty, so this one is all wrapped up. I even got a good bit of that moss out from underneath the porch. Had to get under there with the X-Jet, use a little medium pressure, but this thing comes out absolutely amazing. I love cleaning white houses. Take up here, look at this mailbox. Looks brand new. And I know the customer is usually the one who has to say it looks brand new, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. Alright, well, I'm going to wrap up. I got to go check out a deck. And because the customer up there is not home, so I'm just going to give them a quote over the phone, and then I'm going to head on up to Wake Forest. Alright, just did an over the phone quote for this customer here. They have a pretty weathered deck, and they really wanted to get this taken down to just the bare wood. And as you can see here, there is a little bit of stain still remaining from the last time they had it done, but it has been quite some time. I recommended that they get it sanded instead of pressure washed, but they really wanted to go ahead with my service, so we kind of came to an agreement of doing a treatment on this with the sodium hypochlorite followed with a medium pressure. I'm going to hit this with about 500 psi just because this wood is so weathered it is kind of just begging to splinter at its current point. And I'm going to hit with a medium pressure, and if some of the stain is left behind, that's okay. They just don't want it splintered beyond savability without having to sand it, because I told them if they wanted all of the stain off, I'd have to hit it with enough pressure that they would have to have a sanding done, and if they had to have a sanding done, they might as well just have it sanded rather than pressure washed. So we're going to go ahead and put them on the books, and oh my gosh, what is that? That is the most terrifying bug I've ever seen, and I'm going to go ahead and move away from it. Whew, okay. I think they have a hornet's nest on their back porch, which is pretty magnificent. I'm going to have them take that down before I come back. I'm going to go ahead and slowly back away from that porch. Alright, well, until next time, porch, I'll be back. Alright, up here on the back side, this one is fully extended on our 24-foot. And just coming through, cleaning off the gutter guards. This is the one we're going to do gutter guards and a freshwater rinse after we're done. I'm going to get on over here and blow out some of these leaves on the roof and work my way around to the front. Alrighty, so I'm all done with the gutters. Got up here, got all these out right here. Really just a lot of just these maple spinner things. Got the hoses both pulled out. So I've got water going to the tank. And I've got my Suttner 2305 waiting on me around the corner here. We're just going to give this a good rinse off. Alright, so we're just doing the freshwater rinse. This is not rinsing any chemical off. I'm just rinsing off the pollen and the dust and the dirt that's happened since I was back here in, since last time I was here in November. Kind of cleaning it up ever so slightly. Adding a little bit of value to today's wash, or today's clean, rather than just doing gutter guard clean off. Yeehaw. Alright, well that's going to do it for me today, guys. I got the two houses washed, gutter guards cleaned off, and now I got to head back through some 4 o'clock traffic. That's not too bad. We scheduled pretty light today on purpose because of the drive out here to Wake Forest. But other than that, I think it was a very good day, and I'm looking forward to the next time I get a chance to come out here. Alright, well that's it for me. Y'all be safe out there.